incredible match coming up here on the main stage. It's going to be Optic taking on G1 here in the quarterfinals.
Crowd, I know it's early. It's just noon here on the West Coast, but I need you to make some noise and get ready because this is your winner's bracket. This is the quarterfinals. This is Optic Gaming taking on G1, and I know there's a whole lot of Greenwall fans out there in the crowd, but G1, looking at the game types, a lot of people on the desk, they're hating on them. I was talking to Eli. He says these are 3 of our 4 best, Walshy.
Yeah, they look really strong in these game modes, specifically CTF Bazaar and Street Slayer. However, it is against Optic, and it's against Optic on LAN here. Yeah. We've seen G1 come so far, do so well, but when it comes to taking down those top few teams on LAN, they get so close, but just falter at the last moment like we saw against Cloud9 in game number 5 yesterday.
These graphics are so sick. This map is so hype. I'm ready to get into it. We're going to recharge. We're starting things off with Oddball and looking at the stats. No one has been able to stop Boo Boo Doo at this point for G1. Optic going to be his toughest challenger yet, though.
Yeah, look at Boo Boo. Quite odd that he's arguably one of the further ones up there on the glass, being noticeable. Boo Boo's known as its anchor in the squad. Swish and crew trading slays over in control, and that's gonna be 3 down for Optic, and Vol quickly scooped up by Boo Boo.
Trippy trying to get that camel off, wasn't able to, so it's gonna be Devin who's got it in hand, able to rotate. You can see that oddball in the hands of Boo Boo, already up to 13 points. The rotation has been clean, Dave, and they've got 1 line of defense with 3 members of Optic swarming.
And right there, G1 were trying to rotate the ball towards Turbine, but it was too little too late. The push from Optic was too fast, and what looked like a strong setup and strong start only amounted to 15 points.
Yeah, that player top control, not able to do the damage they needed to weaken these shields. You can see the green gun coming out at the wrong time. Formal checking the flank, and that's where Squall's gonna be coming from. Jumping out. It's always a double team when you fight this green squad.
Yeah, as soon as you see one, you know the reinforcements are coming quick, so you better get that trade or you better take some cover.
Collect the medals, there's 2. Going for 3, that's Formal, baby!
Formal just putting on a clinic. And how do you get rewarded with the ball there? Hey, dude, you're on fire. You're destroying right there. Can you mind holding this for a minute?
Yeah, hey, you're the wrecking ball. You're the damage dealer. You're the human UAV. You're also going to be our objective lead. Matt, happy to do that job. Already up to 24 points for Optic. They've got the control. They've got the power weapons. How do you slow this team down, Dave?
It is so tough. I mean, you almost don't want to quote-unquote slow them down. G1 does thrive in a more aggressive and fast-paced mode. However, at some point it's like, how do you stop them from snowballing this lead? And that's where G1's gonna have to be cautious and realize when they're off spawn. How are they making a concentrated push together across the map versus just flying out on their own and getting in double teams?
Swish. He's got the shock, looking for targets, 2 down low. Lucid is gonna dock that one wide right. These beams just not quite connecting as the kills are gonna be traded out. Oddball still in the hands of Optic. Trippy's gonna get that out of there.
But those are some decent trades on both ends. Now we're gonna see how well does Optic rotate this, and look at this, brought it all the way to Hydro. You know Trippy's gonna get that play ball. Boo Boo gets the stop, but the damage has been done. Now it's gonna be who gets these next lays and where are they gonna take this ball?
Boo Boo on our screen for now. If we can, I'd love to get over to Swish eventually. He's been the top leader when it comes to the statistics. Also, you'll see him on the mini-map as the one rotating this oddball. And a great move here, Dave. He felt the pressure. He's getting out of dodge.
And I like this play, just tossing to his teammate in long haul. He sees that he has Boo Boo all the way on over at Hydro, but looks like he needs some extra help. They know the push is coming over at control, and look at that, Boo Boo and Swish. Perfect teamwork to take that player out, but flanked by APG and long haul.
Devin able to clean up 1, make it 2. He's got the ball time as well. Could help out a teammate here, and that's Trippy, who is going to be challenging. So G1, not the cleanest, not able to execute a full 10-second grab like they wanted to, Dave. And here comes Optic, already 2 down.
Yeah, and another panic ball rotation that we saw from G1 earlier on. It feels like when they're in doubt, they've been trying to rotate and be with their teammates, but they ultimately get punished for that.
Right.
Whereas Optic, they know when they should bail out a rotation or when they can safely get the ball across the map.
You saw Devin trying to make the decision. Trippy's chasing his teammate. Do you go and try and put shots on Trippy, or do you rotate the ball? He did a little delay. Optic able to punish, but the ball's still down on the ground. And G1 has been able to keep it out of And here comes Swish. The melee's gonna land. Trippy down. It's G1 in control for now, Dave.
Swish dealing and taking so much damage. One interesting stat so far throughout the tournament is Squall and Swish have a significant more amount of damage taken compared to Boo Boo and Free Devonator. And that makes sense with their playstyle. Boo Boo, kind of this anchor player, playing it for their back. Devonator, known as that flanking role with G1.
60 points for Optic. Nearing in on 50 for G1. Lucid patrolling the tunnels, making sure no one comes behind, and he's gonna find Boo Boo up top. This is getting messy, Dave. Optic's falling. Boo Boo causing the chaos here.
That's the 4th or 5th time we've seen 3 members of Optic Gaming down, so it's fine in the kill department for G1. They're able to get multiple members down, but it's more of how are they rotating, how are they continuing that lead when they get that setup.
58 and counting to 60. We may see our 4th lead change of this game. And it's locked in. Not yet, says Trippy. Trippy and APG, last 2 up, and they continue to put up kills.
And once again, G1 does get the play, ball gets out, but you gotta question, was it too late? Generally, if you're tossing that ball out towards batteries, you're hoping you don't have to pay for it with your life, because someone like APG can just scoop that right up unpunished.
It took him 2 seconds to grab it, and now he's got it back to safety. How is G1 gonna break it? You gotta get past Trippy, and he's just gonna send you flying. Doesn't even need to pick up the kill, but this ball feeling the pressure from behind.
Look at that difference in play ball, Puckett. Right there, APG played it well in advance before he received any damage, and now he's in a perfect spot to lay down some damage, be a distraction, and put pressure on this ball carrier. There's a big difference in those multi-seconds where you just wait, or where you play that ball just a little bit earlier.
You shouldn't win that fight, Lucid. You shouldn't win the fight. He grapples the ball back up to safety. His teammate will be able to scoop this, and 25 points to go here for Optic in our first round.
Every single time, Optic just seemed to know exactly what to do with the state of the game. They understand when they have even numbers on the field. They understand when they're a player down. You know you have someone like Coach Lunchbox yelling in their ear, telling them, this is the play ball time. This is the ball rotation time. This is a drop the ball and slay time.
Now, Walshy, I watched this throwback, and I couldn't hear anyone but Bravo, right? Bravo is all over the mic. We know Formal is all over the mic here for this Optic squad. Is Lunchbox still doing what he did when he was a player on that comm?
Lunch was absolutely a vocal leader. I need to get to some more listens with that roster, but I think he's more of a supporting role here, helping get that macro vision. You don't need someone like Lunchbox calling out where a one-shot is. You need Lunchbox looking at that bird's eye view and saying, we have an opportunity to rotate ball here. Someone clear the path.
Big fight for Boo Boo, and he's gonna get cleaned up. An aggressive APG once again coming out on top. He's just 4 and 10 with 6 assists, Dave. But APG constantly laying down that damage. It doesn't always show up in the stats.
Does not show everything in the stats there. Scooping up this valuable time, watching this flank route. And this is going to be tough. You essentially only have one good push coming out from G1 to try to stop this ball here.
10 points to go. And APG hasn't seen a blue body in 20. That is going to be round number 1 going to Optic Gaming.
So well played there, and I gotta say, it's just outmaneuvering with the ball was the difference maker in that game. Majority of the times we saw G1 try to rotate it, it was stomped on. Majority of times we saw Optic do it, they were making the correct decisions. They knew when they had to choose between slaying, playing, or rotating.
Fresh round. G1 not out of this. Remember, you got to win 2 rounds to take game 1 of Oddball. APG with the first blood as it finds Squall, and here comes Trippy. Camo already been scooped up, and he's just trying to play with these G1 players, trying to make them look at him while his teammates sneak in.
Just like that here in the pipes. Not sure if you need to rotate back over and help. He's looking to possibly grapple that ball, but a lot of pressure coming in from Gold. Ultimately gets the grapple, and Camo's now out, so it looks like Trippy's just gonna opt to put some time on the board.
Dave, that was a 30-second intro where Optic was able to get the power-ups. They were able to get the oddball, and they only dropped 1 player that whole opening.
Yeah, and the more impressive part is it's not like they were doing any sort of sick individual plays. It was well-coordinated pushes together. It's not like you had to have somebody do a quick 360, no scope, 4 shot on somebody. No, it's just perfect fundamental Halo.
2 shots in the shield, force him to back down, keep pushing up the map, take over that space. And here comes the push, Trippy trying to defend himself, and just like that, Formal getting there in time to clean up not one, the second. Will he drop a third body? There's the shield, the melee doesn't give it to him, but he did the damage. It's a 1v1 here for APG to get the ball back.
One chasing up free Devonator. Devonator not sure where to go. He's in such an exposed position there. APG just launches him off, says, you forgot this, take it as well, and then pushes on over towards the battery, but he is receiving so much pressure from Pipes and Control.
APG making something out of nothing there. Dropping 2 shields, picking up a kill, and keeping the ball out of G1's hands, but it's been scooped up now. And we'll find out, can your blue team start to mount a bit of a comeback? Up to this point, we've seen a minute 30 drain off the clock, only 3 points gained.
Lucid's been looking for this window to grab that shock rifle, barely gets away with it over towards the bat ledge, and now needs to do some damage. Gets that shot first on Squall. Can he get the finish? Squall making such a difficult kill, trying to draw Lucid out into the open near batteries.
The shock rifle, a pro player's favorite. And currently, it's out for G1. You're gonna see Formal from above. Plasmiger and Angry Pulsar combo. They hit you any way possible in this game, Dave.
Calls out Pole, takes that skeet shot, and knocks him down. We have yet to see, like I said, from G1 getting those long extended setups, whereas we've seen that consistently from Optic. So the main piece of feedback I can give for G1 right at this moment is getting those kills and having your rotation set up ahead of time. Have that game plan, because by the time that they're reacting, they're getting punished.
Oh, another blainer dropped out by Lucid. Devin on respawn, but Boo Boo. Nice long-range shots. There's only 2 of them up, Dave, but they're keeping these Optic shields low, and honestly, I'm impressed. You burned a minute off the clock, but you've kept Optic just 2 points away from that original 24-point score.
Exactly. That is incredibly impressive given the way that Slays have been rolling. But there comes a couple on the MVP, Lucid, taking out 2 players and setting up his team to grab that oddball. Looks like Formal is going to grapple it on over, train out some melees with Trippy, and we're gonna see if he can rotate this over towards Elevator. I don't know if I like this play. I feel like you gotta move over towards Lucid when you get the opportunity here, but they must feel that pressure coming over from Control.
And, you know, I feel like the G1 players are experiencing the same thing I am right now. Every time I try and get excited for G1, someone from Optic makes a play. It's been individual performances, or it's just been perfect team play. Formal with the grapple ball rotation.
Yep, there is that rotation to Elevator that I was expecting just a little bit earlier. Looks like they had to wait just until the place goes. What a nice stick over on Devonator, though, as he's pushing over the catwalk. Great play by Formal, but here he is in quite a pickle as he knows a couple members are pushing in over from Pipes.
Formal says, I'm not in a pickle, I am the gherkin, charging at everybody. And I mean, these plasma grenades, he's just using them as delays, doesn't pick up the elimination, and almost got away with the oddball. You had Trippy watching him from the opposite side of the map.
So earlier we were seeing those trades back and forth from Slays, Optic not able to make much of it. Here's where we see Optic shown. They put another 30 points on the board. Lining it up, Squall hits the do-or-die shot on the Formal at Control. That is exactly a moment and shot that G1 needs if they want to have a chance in this game.
We were looking at the numbers before this matchup, Dave, and we both identified Squall as the guy who's the X factor. If he pops off, G1's got a chance. Right now, he's leading the team at 23 elims, but he's still got 1 more death that kills.
Swish heard the call out, knows he has to help over at Gold, but that is just either a slight miscommunication or some extra pressure coming in from the Optic Gaming roster to stop that fish as quickly as it could have gotten.
2 down for Optic. Baldo still rotating towards Control. Boo Boo gonna try and cut that one off. And you can see Boo Boo trying to keep his team in it. They are down to 82 seconds. If that ball is on the ground, that timer continues to tick.
Continues ticking away, and right here it's just been devastating. It feels like they get a numbers advantage for G1, and then as they're going in position to get the ball, those members of Optic are able to pick them apart in the pit.
Formal, despite the 2v1, able to trade. Squall finding Trippy, so 2 members of Optic down. Swish getting his shield back, now gonna try and make a move, but Dave, they're waiting on their shields, and I'm just staring at that number in the bottom center of our screen. It's 81 to 29, and Optic isn't letting any of the blue members near this objective.
Yeah, looking at that number on the bottom center of the screen, I'm also looking at that number in the top left of the screen with Formal putting out 32 kills and only 21 deaths, with second most ball time in the game.
All right, Optic, you need to pick up the objective a little bit more. I'd like to open the day Saturday here with a Formal 40 bomb. 30 seconds, not so likely, but the man continues to do damage. You can see the oddball just left behind by Optic. They're all fighting for top kills.
One thing that was really interesting there with that plasma pistol is I couldn't tell if Lucid was just priming it up, had a little bit of a misfire, or knows some tech that maybe we're unaware of. Maybe you can tell if someone's in that corner based on the way that weapon interacts if you're shooting through the wall. I don't know. Like I said, could very potentially just be a misfire.
Is that the point of the game we're in right now, Dave?
That could be, you know, we're at Worlds. If you know some secrets and tricks, this is the time to bring it out.
Lucid, one of the first to bring it into his game, and the first on the board in this series. Optic Gaming up 1-0 after oddball.
Such a strong performance, and one thing that's just so scary about this Optic roster is when they're out slaying you, of course, they're beating you in the objective. When they're getting outslayed, somehow they're staying even or sometimes even ahead in the objective. It's just their efficiency with it, the way that they know how to play when they're down a couple members, the way they bait the oddball, the way they play their last lives. It's just so impressive at every turn.
I'll be honest, as we take a look at the players' reactions from game number one, this is exactly how we predicted it would go. The stronger team getting their stronger game mode, Optic striking first. But now this is the opportunity for G1. You mentioned you got 3 of your top 4 games in this series. They're game 2, game 3, and game 4. You got to beat Optic in a 3-1 series if you're going to get it done. But let's revisit how hot Optic started on this oddball, Dave.
Yeah, taking a look at Formal with that sick triple, and there's nothing better to hear in your team comms than hearing one of your teammates get hyped up, especially someone like Formal, who like he doesn't pop off all the time, but when he does, you know he just did something nasty.
If you watched Orlando, it was almost nothing but pop-offs. Throughout this game, you just saw the clutch moments. If you needed a camo, Optic was there. If you needed the shock rifle, Optic is there. The team shot was pure, and the individual effort is always consistent from this green squad. Optic Gaming, the slaying dominant team to look out for. G1, considered the mini Optic by Clutch and Friends on the desk. They got a man up coming in this game too.
They do have to step it up, and like you said, the way the series has been going thus far, G1's best opportunity here is to get a 3-1 win in their favor. The reason I say that is game number 5 is in Aquarius. When we saw them go against Cloud9 in game number 5, it just didn't strike there. They got so far behind, kind of fell in a few different key neutral moments, and just slowly slipped away from them. So, if you're a G1 fan, you're really rooting that G1 can take Street Slayer, which is one of their stronger game modes.
They said that CTF is 3 of their 4 top games. Their best, though, it's Slayer on Street. So get it done right now. And you gotta start off with the opening 4 of 5 kills, Dave. I feel like that's what you gotta do. Everyone needs to start off with a little bit of new life coming into this map.
Yeah, just getting those initial kills, trying to grab those rockets, trying to get that bulldog, and just controlling that initial set of spawns. Understand if you can get them trapped in tram or towards PD, and really rolling that into a bigger lead.
Looking at the strength of this Optic team, there is the OG Lunchbox. First team 5K. Shortly after that, I can only remember him wearing an Instinct jersey, Dave.
Just so much success on so many different rosters, and you know the pivotal role that he plays in that Optic gaming roster. Those players trust him. They know what he brings to the table. He helps them keep a cool head. He helps them also evaluate where things are going wrong and how they can also improve as they've risen to the top throughout this HCS season.
Talking about the opposite side for G1, they've got Eli back there. We talked to him before this matchup and asked him if you could liken yourself to any of the old school teams from Halo 3, Halo Reach. Who would you describe? He's like, maybe Believe the Hype from 2009. They came in with the 7th seed. No one thought they were a threat in the event, and they walked away with the trophy, Dave. Bravo was on the losing end of that battle, but, you know, it was BTH back then. It could be G1 here in 2022.
I mean, I would not count out any of these teams here, especially any of these teams that have made it here to the quarters. G1 is looking scary. I don't think this team's by any means flying under the radar, though. People have seen how good they are. They've been challenged by them on land in Orlando and many other events. Everyone's seen what they did at the NA Super Online, taking second place. Nobody's sleeping on G1.
Optic fans getting loud in the venue. They know they're up 1-0 in the best of 5. They only need 2 more, and they're going into a Slayer. If you watched Orlando, this is one of the scariest squads to grace this game type.
Yes, this is going to be a very pivotal game because, as we even talked about, obviously G1 needs to tie the series up, but imagine the message that this sends to G1 if they lose on one of, if not their best game type.
I think they said number 1.
Yeah, their number 1 game type, and they said, all right, we're up 2 in the series. Do you got any good game types in your repertoire?
You gotta do it here, gotta set the tone, and we'll find out who is gonna step up for the G1 squad and who is gonna raise Formal to the top of the leaderboard for Optic Gaming. Do you have a dog in this fight, Dave? Who do you think could beat Formal to maybe a number 32, 35 in game 2? There's only 50, so let's drop that to 28.
If we see anyone getting 20 even on this Slayer, I would be incredibly impressed. But if we're thinking of anyone on that G1 roster that can do it, I was incredibly impressed with Pre-Devinator's movement when we saw him in Street Slayer yesterday. He just had such impeccable movement around the tire side, ducking in and out. He's known for like this flanking play style. And Streets, it's dangerous because if you have somebody that's sneaky like that, they can traverse the map so quick. You don't have to go across these long flank routes. Instead, you're up in somebody's face. Then you're moving on over towards Neon side, flanking somebody else.
Here we go. The Streets loading up. Seattle, are you ready to party? It's Saturday. This is your winners bracket quarterfinals. Optic Gaming G1 going into game number 2.
We're gonna see how these teams kick it off. When we were watching Cloud9 start here on Streets, they were doing some preemptive nades over from A tower over to the C balcony. Not sure if any of these teams are gonna bust out some new tricks.
So Dave, while we're taking a look at the map here, let's talk strategy. It's Team Slayer. You don't need to rotate an oddball. You don't need to worry about some hills on this map. So how are you setting up your squad to slay out?
The way you're setting your squad on this one is you're deciding which half of the map you're first taking. So in one point, it's where are we comfortable? Where are we gonna be able to feel like we can get a kill in the neutral game?
Okay.
And then from there, it's rolling that advantage. Says, okay, if you're, let's say, holding Tram side and you get a kill over towards Neon or B Street, do you wanna go for that collapse over towards A or PD? Or do you want to just sit back and hold that position that you already have?
And how would you describe Optic Gaming? Is this a team that's just 4 sharks, they're always pushing forward at your spawns? Or is this a team that's gonna wait, identify you, and then try and get a pinch that you didn't see coming?
It's going to be a mix. I mean, it's so situational across any sort of strategy within Halo, but the way you'll see Optic play is when they get the numbers advantage, you know they're going to push it and press it, especially if they know where the last members of G1 are located.
Players are loading in. It's time for game number 2. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are down to our 8 teams in the winners bracket, 4 teams waiting in our elimination bracket. And this is take one step closer towards that winners semifinals. Slayer, first of 50 kills, one of our favorite classic game modes here in the Halo universe. And we've got some of the best gracing the stage. Lucid going for season MVP, the first on your screen.
And look at that lead. Just sniffing out where Pre-Devinator is going to go. It is typical that somebody is going to push on over towards the dumpster side, but to get met with 3 shots from the MVP, that's a little rough.
There's an early rocket, does no damage. I'm used to those, but Lucid, he's got another one in his back pocket here, Dave. As you saw the opening, though, APG able to pick up 3 straight kills, and finally he's gonna get dropped down, but the rest of the team weakening those bodies, APG cleaning them up, but now it's all G1.
All 4 down. Squall A spots the spawns over at Cafe, and he wasn't able to make it towards PD. Generally, if you see somebody get over towards that tower or Cafe spawns, you want to see if you can eliminate that last angle towards PD. Not quite the case, and Optic fight fire with fire and break out of their spawn trap and get 3 members of G1 down.
Squall A shooting really well. He was taken out by 3 players pushing him. But dishing out the damage along the way. And look at this! Switches on the stairs. You wait 6 seconds, there's 3 opponents looking at you, Dave. You can't stay in the same spot if you're G1. You keep moving, boys.
You cannot, even though it is a very obscure location there in the stairs, you can be met with grenades, and unfortunately in that case, met with a triple team that quickly.
Shotty's out. Bulldog not gonna land this time for Formal. Cutting back over to APG, who leads the lobby at 6 limbs, looking at Boo Boo Doo. He's also got pressure from his left. And as Optic notices the set from G1, they just rotate around it. You got Formal on a flank. APG getting up close and personal. Trades out, and now we're up to 8 kills for APG.
You said sometimes the stat screen doesn't show everything, but look at the difference between APG in a Slayer game versus how he plays in an objective game. So far, he is absolutely leading this roster with 8 kills of their 14 total. Doing absolutely everything right.
Optic winning 4 of the last 4 fights, makes it a 4-point lead. Let's crank up our Astros and listen in with Optic Gaming.
In arcade one. One shot, PD, one shot.
One rocket of Max, one rocket of Max.
One guy PD, one shot.
There. One shot.
One shot, guys.
Nice shot.
Still caution, one shot. Caution.
Yeah, all swing red, okay? All swing red. Looking market. Market now, switch, weak. Market switch, weak. Market weak.
Helping, guys, I'm coming to help.
How many times spawn cafe going?
Driveway. It's railing, yes, rail.
Absolute cuts.
Look at the same stuff, guys.
He has a stalker thrust on Bulldog right now.
They're gonna play for Matt
Ivy,
hard.
Ivy.
Look Bulldog, trying to get
Yeah, Bulldog, I'm back.
Cuts, going up, real weak, switch, one shot.
Nice, Matt.
bounce up, weak back, way down.
Yep, trash.
Go back in inside.
A-team as well, A-team, Jesse, one shot.
One sub and 18.
Matt, driveway.
A-team, Jesse.
It's just weak. Nice, Matt.
I can look at this, guys.
PD some.
Blocking sub, guys.
I'm a soccer.
They're gonna spawn sub, maybe. They're gonna spawn sub.
PD weak, small leg. PD weak, small leg. One shot.
One shot.
Rocket. He's dead. 2 dead. Nice.
Shot.
Great.
Guys, nice shit.
Drive.
I'm all by myself. I have a shot over here.
They like pushing
One might be out already.
I have a soccer.
We win it with Optic up 4. We leave it with Optic up 9 eliminations here, Dave. 29-20, and the comms are flowing.
So well played there. And one thing I noticed from Lunchbox as we talked about how he coordinates the team with their objectives, he tells players when they're out of position. He let Tommy, aka Lucid, know that he's pushed up too far. Let him know, hey, it's okay if you're pushed up too far. However, know that you're not gonna get the help. So play however you'd like with that knowledge. It's more about giving them the key knowledge that they have and letting the players make those key decisions.
Situational awareness, one of the team's strengths, and it's due to those comms. There's another double kill from Squall. G1, we've been hyping up Optic, but they have been in this fight every step of the way. Yes, you kind of got burned out once you hit the 20s, but now you can start to turn this around. A new set of rockets just popped up. You've got the Bulldog as well, and you've got Optic finally pinched back Tram.
Finally having pitched back Tram indeed, but what are they gonna do to grab those rockets? Because it feels like Optic were kind of able to push outside through B Street, and through that entire time where G1 had control of 2/3 of the map, Optic walked with rockets and more kills.
I'm really confused, Dave. No one was really watching that exit. Instead, Swish tried to go up top, tried to flank, and they get caught out.
Yeah, generally what happens when you have Tram. Now look at the difference here between Optic setup and the G1 setup. They just have somebody here from Optic watching these stairs in the front door. And then you have a lot more members from Optic battling towards the B Street and rails. That is the one counter and one area they're trying to get up. And look at, they're all now rotating back over towards B rails. Whereas before they must have gotten back down from that driveway push.
Baited and traded. Optic Gaming pulling G1 members out and punishing them one at a time. And you can look at the kills. APG 15 with 7 assists. In fact, you got 7 assists from Trippy. Matt's right there, Formal with 7 of his own, and Lucid, he's got 1 more at 8. The whole squad, Dave, is helping out on almost every single one of these kills.
Everyone doing their best, and Lucid said, I just have to do a little better though.
Final moments of this one. What was tight around 20 points is a blowout now. Optic looking for the final 5 kills on board with Trippy. And everyone's saying Trippy, from Raleigh to now, has taken his game to a whole nother level.
Yeah, every single player on this roster has been such a dominating force from day one. But the more impressive part is they've kept up with that dominance as they go throughout the season. That's gonna be 48 kills on the board for Optic. Wale trying the best he can to take out APG, but only one kill separating APG and game number 2 victory. That's gonna be 2-0 lead here for Optic Gaming.
Bradley may be 80 years old, but he just dropped 18 kills here on the main stage, Dave. And this is your World Championship winners bracket. What a game to show up in.
And that one is deflating, as we talked about before here for G1. If you're going in and you're calling some map and mode combination your best, you need to show up and do that. I knew back in the day when I was competing with Final Boss in 2007, if we saw Beaver Creek Team players like, oh, there's an instant win. That was always a great reset for us in a series. However, if we were to somehow lose that, which we never did throughout that 2007 season, that would have been a rough one.
Never did, just for the record. Check the stats, they're still online. Here's a look back, and I mean, how many of these kills don't have a power weapon involved? You got the Stalker, you got the Bulldog, you've got rockets in play. And constantly, Optic hitting you on the swarm. Squall, for example, with the rockets, able to get 1 kill, but then he's just running for his life, and there's someone waiting on every exit, Dave.
Yeah, just pushing on the gas. Always remember Optic realizing they had the damage advantage or the numbers advantage and just flying towards those G1 players.
G1 may already be looking at that lower bracket, getting ready for their matchup against Fnatic. If I'm on this squad, though, I'm telling my team, we're saying CTF is our best game mode in general. Might not be as strong as our team player on Streets, but we need to take at least one to give us confidence moving forward.
And to be fair, this is always different matchups, different play styles as well. Also, APG got off to such a hot start there.
Right.
Give credit where it's due. Now, coming into Bazaar CTF, this is a chance for G1 to kind of reset this series. They get to go for slays, they get to slow it down a bit, and if they're able to win a long, drawn-out Bazaar CTF, that momentum's back in their favor. So that could be one of the benefits of having something like a Bazaar CTF or Catalyst CTF, something that you know is gonna really go the distance here, and you and your team be on that same page, start to instill some doubt into the opponents, make them challenge more or play a little more unorthodox than what they're used to.
Sorry, I was distracted. I was looking at a bunch of Master Chiefs over here. How dope is it that we have a cosplay competition at the World Championship, a community stage? It's not just the esports in action here in Seattle. If you're nearby, hop in your car, come on down for one of the best events in esports to grace the Pacific Northwest. Optic Gaming up 2-0 in this best of 5. It is the quarterfinals of our winners bracket. You win here, you're moving on to that winner's semis, and a lot of people are starting to talk about when are the top 4 big dogs gonna meet up. We can see it just the second half of this day.
Yeah, we're gonna see how many of these teams that won their pool continue to hold that seed and push on, because the unique part about this bracket thus far is G1 loses here, they're pretty much on the exact same footing as any of those teams that took third in pools now.
Yeah.
You know, you either took your loss in pools or you took it here in quarterfinals, and you're back fighting for getting out of top 12.
You're not done yet, G1, but you gotta clutch up now. We're heading into Bazaar. Capture the flag. Dave, how's it gonna work?
Capture the flag in Bazaar is gonna go in 3 stages. Fighting out of your base, taking control of the center, and then killing at the opposing base.
Off the break, it's the damage dealer, the human wrecking ball. He comes in, he lets you know where everyone's at, and he sets up the rest of the squad for success, and he's getting the overshield while only taking 1 bullet of damage, Dave. Might as well layer up with some rockets.
I didn't hear his comms during the beginning of that, but all I think I heard was dibs. Dibs, I call OS, I call rockets, and I am gonna go grab that flag. 2 members down here for G1. Now this is a great play, but also risky. You never want to find yourself in a position where you might die with the rockets. And just like that, Formo at least wisely shoots it to be incredibly safe. But that was kind of that greed and optimization that you see coming out of these top pros, saying, no one else is close enough to grab this. I need to grab this even though I have the power weapons.
And nice work by Devin to take up some space here in the middle of the map. Those grenades gonna delay any push from Optic Gaming, buying even more time for G1 to take map presence. And there's a nice cleanup kill. Looking for a second, he knew he did some damage with that first grenade, and now the double kill is scored. Devin opening up a route for this flag.
3 down for Optic. Boo Boo, Doobu, and Predevinator perfectly set up to escort this flag. So even though Predevinator taking a couple shots, I thought he was going to get across the palms. That's such a crucial kill here for Optic. Now, what would happen is Optic did not get that kill. They're going to push across the map. Since they got that kill, they are going to contest for their palm.
And this is dangerous right now. Boo Boo has not fallen. Finally, he's out. The treehouse has been reclaimed as Squall is going to go down, Formal and Lucid, clearing the way. They've got 3 dead from G1, and now it's Optic's turn for map control.
Their turn for map control, so they're going to hold the center, and now it's that next round of slays like I talked about, Puckett. Optic need to get a few slays and then push over towards the BR and the palm of the G1 base.
Formal so wise to check the flank. He hears the call out to the other 2 players. Knows a third must be lurking somewhere. They're setting up for this overshield, making sure no one from G1 has a chance to threaten it.
And that was so smart from Optic. They're not trying to force any early pushes into BR or palm. They have a good idea of what the time is on the clock, and Lunchbox is saying, just hold the center of the map here for 15 seconds, then make the push in with the overshield.
Formal's getting chewed up, but the damage is being dished out. 4 perfect shots. The reversal, the double. Your teammate's gonna pick up the flag after you drop it down. And you know what? Formal might just take this one himself. Trippy wants to be the lead blocker. And again, small mistakes on these Optic runs, but you got the tools to keep it moving anyway.
Partially small mistake. One thing that Optic did good is they committed to one route. Secondly is they ran it as fast as possible. Even though Formal got taken out there, they were able to run that through sewers, and APG is now going to put that flag in with almost no contention.
Only one player to help them, Dave. That was 2 down for Optic. Lucid now in trouble. Boo Boo's on the return, trying to pull, but Formal is there.
That could have been disastrous, but looks like Optic were at least able to trade out the kills, and the initial flag runner was able to finally put that one in. Formal rewarded with the first flag here for Optic Gaming.
Now, I didn't see it completely, but I'm almost positive that was Lucid just doing some Lucid dance moves, bottom center of that base. Causing some chaos, allowing his teammates to buy an extra second or 2. Flag still under threat though, as Swish is trying to take control of the tower. He's cut down. Overshield's gonna be coming up, but it's Optic setting up for it again.
Optic in great position there. Trippy knowing that those dynamos are spawning around 10 seconds, so he is going to be holding this area down, knowing that there's OS and dynamos coming up shortly. Expect the Optic push to take place around the 750 mark.
Grenades going out first. Shotty time.
Ooh.
That's gonna connect. Chain reaction, Dave. Half the team's dead if you're G1.
Half the team down for each side, but Lucid was able to grab that OS, and he's flying in, wasting no time. Devinator and only one more teammate on the G1 base, and this is tough. Trippy and Lucid, this duo, are putting so much pressure on Squall, able to take out that duo single-handedly.
How big was Squall right there? Taking on the 1v1 versus Trippy, and then able to finish off Lucid. As Lucid checks left, Squall was on the right, and now Squall pushing up into the middle of the map. He's got Optic right on the other side of this wall, and 2 dead in the feed.
And this might be a little overcritical, but the couple times that I've been seeing G1 get control of dynamo grenades, I haven't been seeing as effective use of them. I see Optic, they'll toss it in over towards the BR or Palm and let their teammates know if there's any hits or anyone weak in there. They'll toss over towards Sewer to get some more information. Right there, it kind of felt like a couple panic tosses. We also saw that earlier with Predevinator.
You just saw Trippy in the last team fight pick up 3 kills. Now it's Lucid with the first 2 in this one. Formal over the top for a third shot. He comes out, and the Bulldog will find another double. 4 dead for G1. Boo Boo's the first on his feet, but this flag's gone.
And another time, once again, you have Optic immediately vacating the G1 base and allowing them to spawn over at their own base. What problem happens a lot of times here on Bazaar and Catalyst is you get those slays and you also spawn the teammates, the opposing team, out of the base so they have a chance to contest on the opposing flag.
Boo Boo was surrounded there. Good on him to turn it into 2 kills, but the second flag has been scored by Optic Gaming. We look at the time left, 6 minutes, 10 seconds. You look at the scoreboard more importantly. G1 still without a cap, Dave. They need to convert this next pressure. They've been in the base twice, but they haven't been able to move it at all.
And how many OSs have we seen
4.
go in the hands of G1? 0.
Okay.
Every single one going in the hands of Optic. And this is also the 6-minute mark where the rockets are popping up. So we're going to see APG make his way on over towards the top rockets. Then we'll grab those with ease. And this is so dangerous. He can go do whatever he'd like. And look at this. Anyone flanks on through below, he's going to take them out. Ends up trading with Devonator some damage, but damage has been done.
Yeah, it's a perfect rocket, you know. Maximizing the use of shields. Picking up the kill, I approve APG. His teammate's gonna get it done with the short-range weaponry as Trippy patrolling the sewers down low. APG feeling the pressure of the grenades, gets out with his life and gets the call-outs out. You don't need to push in for the flag here, Dave. You just need to stall out your opponents.
Nope, it's that multi-step process. They're in like step 3 of this 4-step process, getting over towards the BR and the palm. And look at that, slaying 3 down. This time, they're not gonna be able to block the spawn, or not gonna be able to vacate the base fast enough. So this time, you're gonna see G1 spawning out towards sewers, and G1 likely gonna push on over towards the Optic sewer side and fight them back at their own base.
3 players forced out to chase down Lucid in the base. Time is burning.
Looks
But a
like
nice
Optic
defense
just gives
from
up on
G1
that
so
flag
far.
one.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a bit surprising. I expected Optic with the numbers advantage to run that towards palms, but they opt to not even run it at all.
I think Lucid, he botched the first flag toss. Trippy couldn't run it down low. They said, let's try and slay instead. And G1 able to win an important team fight. Trippy continues to survive for now as Swish is trying to do the damage, but Formal with a needler, Dave. Everything is working for Optic Gaming.
Respect, I love it. I'm glad it was not the Fiedler as we've seen or at the trolley booth here at the Halo World Championship. But that was such a smart play, I guess, ultimately from Optic, realizing if they don't have the flag run they want, don't overcommit to it. You've seen many other medium-level pro teams, the ones that aren't at the very top, they will commit to a flag run even if something goes wrong or goes awry.
All right, Dev able to finally grab an overshield here for G1. You can see it's melted, though. Teammates falling at his grenades. Dev's not even going to pick up a kill here, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I think of Kendrick Lamar in Mad City saying this is not a tape recorder saying that he did it, but ever since that day, I was looking at him different. So anytime I need a teammate like that, I do not tell them whatsoever. You just got to roll on through the rest of the match.
I got a Walshy quoting Kendrick Lamar next to me right now. I'm loving today. We got Lucid on your screen. We've got the final 3 minutes and 20 seconds potentially of this series. Optic up 2-0 in this series and game 3 as they're looking to put on a third cap. It's not going to happen. G1 doing a good job of clearing out their base, but that's about it. We haven't seen them be able to push forward.
Yeah, now they got Lucid out of their base, though. They're in a position that can maybe get their first kind of set of rockets, and they're going to need to use that to push on over and get the first cap. So these are going to have to be effective use of rockets. There's one to trade out with Lucid. 1 rocket for 1 Lucid. That's a good use.
Boo Boo pushing up behind Squall. Squall's already cleaned up APG. That's 2 down. Trippy with no shield gets out with his life. And Boo Boo is looking for Formal down low. Finds him. Bulldog is good for Lucid, and now the whole team can push forward. This is G1's first real flag attempt.
Their first real flag attempt, but also off the back of this, if they do this correctly, they might be able to secure this overshield. They know exactly what the Optic plan is. Optic are going to rotate through sewers. He hears those hit markers through the Dynamo Grenade. Great Dynamo Grenade usage. And look at this, Boo Boo coming back to secure this flag cap.
Flag is down, though. Everyone came back inside the base, and Trippy was able to stop it short. Lucid's still there, but Swish is going to rally to the doors.
Formal getting that last stop. Now, what happens here? Formal goes down. Are Optic overcommitting to try to stop this flag? You have to wonder, at what point do you say, let it go?
2 overshields in a row turns into the first G1 cap. All they needed was the power weapon. Perfect execution. Once they get it, G1, can they rally again? 3 of the teammates were down, all coming off spawn now.
Minute and a half. G1's time to shine. When they were in a similar position yesterday, they were playing Catalyst flag against Cloud9. They had a 2-1 lead into the final 30 seconds, and they let Cloud9 clutch up against them.
Right.
Can G1 do the reverse of that? Can G1 clutch up here in these final 75 seconds to get this flagpole and bring it to an overtime?
Formal The one man going wide right, everyone else pushing left here for Optic. And he's trying to lay down the damage, but instead, Boo Boo and Dev continue to push up Squally in front of this base, and we may see another G1 pull here shortly.
This is their opportunity, but Optic has a couple opportunities for slays. Right now, this life of Boo Boo is so important because if Boo Boo dies, Boo Boo's not going to play any sort of effect on this flag cap because he has so far to traverse across the map. So Boo Boo's life is so much more important than any other trade here. But remember, such a huge reversal on Lucid. Boo Boo doing everything he can over in the Optic pole.
Oh, Squall and Swish just killed though inside the Optic base. Boo Boo, last man standing. He's been here the whole time. Yes, an overshield's coming in 20 seconds, but this game is over if you don't pull the flag.
Yeah, they need to get this flag pulled soon, and I just keep wondering how do Boo Boo's reinforcements keep getting taken out? That street out! Formal, the last man standing here from Optic. Boo Boo trying everything he can do to stay alive. All 4 down.
7 seconds.
Grabbing that flag, and G1 are gonna be able to grab this overshield on the way back with this flag.
Here we go. Sudden death has kicked off. And Trippy is gonna find the first G1 member. Now a second, a third, and it's all over here, Dave. Optic Gaming is gonna get 3 down, the flag return, and a 3-0 over G1.
Ice cold there from the Optic boys. Somehow picking off Squall before it grabs the overshield and it activates. That's such a game changer.
Everyone says Optic at noon is not nearly as dangerous as Optic at 6 p.m. G1, they thought they'd have a chance, their best chance of the weekend. Face it off here on Saturday morning. But Optic Gaming proven just to be too strong.
Yeah, Optic not taking any series lightly and just taking names here at the Halo World Championship. They're just looking like the top tier team that they've built out to be.
And I gotta say, their merch is so hot this event as well. We got the throwback jerseys. Optic doing it big.
The supersonic style jerseys, I gotta pick myself up one of those. I lived in Seattle for a few years, got a bit of appreciation for the culture out here.
Dave, I gotta say, it has been such a blast standing next to you once again, my friend. Coming straight off a Madden National Championship into the Halo World Championship. You can't ask for a better week of esports.
It is a beautiful time for esports, especially as a Halo fan at the Halo World Championship. The biggest and best event of the year.
I got all kinds of noise in my microphones right now. In our headphones, people are cheering. The green wall making all kinds of noise here in the venue. And I have to wonder, if you got a fan group that's bringing this much energy, who can match that energy? Who else is going to be able to hang with the squad with this much support?
I mean, having the crowd on your side really is that X factor. I mean, I was always fortunate enough to have a huge crowd following behind myself, the Final Boss rosters, all the years when I competed. Hearing those fans cheer for you anytime you make a sick play, you just know that it's demoralizing the opposing team. That home field advantage is a real thing, and it's nice when you get home field advantage at every city.
Every event. They were there in Orlando, they're here in Seattle, and right now on the main stage, we got Blaze with a man I sub to, Mr. Trippy.